Ditka?
Hey. You're really campaigning for Bitch of the Year, aren't you?
I swear, one of these times you're gonna wake up in a coma.
If we can focus, keep discipline, and not have quite as many mysterious deaths, Sunnydale is gonna rule!
Hey everybody, welcome to episode 64 of GrrArghCast, the Buffy and Angel recap podcast that is completely spoiler-free for her pleasure. I am
It's going to be one of those days. It's going to be one of those days, you guys.
I'm Brandon Ellison.
I'm Jewel Rocket Rose, and I just like live
Jill's
on the
doing
struggle bus today.
This really fun thing with her microphone that I can't wait to edit.
I moved it so that it could be in front of my face.
Oh, that's good. I like that. That's a good place for a microphone to be.
It wasn't just now. I realized it was off to the side.
Oh, mine is off to the side. That's where I keep mine, right over here. But it's okay. Hey, Jewel, how's your week going?
You know, there are things we learn as we get older. I went over to my girlfriend's house last night. My friend, not like my girlfriend, but like my friend, who's a girl. And I was hanging out with her and her roommate, and I definitely brought with me a heating pad because, you know, my neck's been a little tight lately. So I wanted to make sure like I could be comfortable while we watched movies, which I wouldn't do normally. Now that I am in my 30s, that's what we do now.
Yeah.
That's just I'm just tired, and
I understand entirely. For anyone who follows our Patreon, I did a live video from a club I was at last night after I'd had way too many drinks, and there were strippers, and I believe at some point there's a Britney Spears song playing, and I am. How have I missed this? Today. It's on the Patreon Facebook page.
I just stayed out way too late last night. I was out. We didn't do anything. 4. Oh, 2. I was home by 2, and I was like, fuck, man, I can't do anything.
Amy is literally laying on a heating pad right now.
Living life on a heating pad right here. I even have one at work.
Jewel, before we talk about this week's episodes, why don't you tell me what else you have been watching, reading, listening to, or doing this week?
Oh, you don't want me to keep talking about how I keep my seat heater on in my car at all times, even if it's 1,000 degrees outside, just so I can stand up unhinged when I get out the car?
The amount of sweat that builds up on my back when that happens is intolerable. I hate
the lumbar support in my car is amazing. No. Anyway, what have I been watching?
Yeah.
I watched this movie on Netflix with a friend of mine and her kids. It was what was it called? It was on Netflix, and it was about these young kids who go out into the woods to like go drink and party when they're seniors in high school. Like they go like camping in the woods with beer, like how cool. Well, they got drunk, and one of them is playing with this switchblade the whole time, and he drops it and cuts off himself.
Cuts off himself?
Yes, he Lorena Bobbitt himself. Dick. Yeah. He Lorena Bobbitt himself. And then his friend, then he's airlifted out of there, and they forgot to get the piece, and they were like, we can reattach it if it's like within a certain amount of hours. Meanwhile, it's like rolled down a hill, it's like elsewhere, and then they like rinse it off and put it in a little like cooler, and then have to like get it to him, and they go to the wrong hospital. It's just like a comedy of errors, but all about a penis.
There's early Oscar buzz.
I mean, for real, especially the scene of the racist the racist Southerner's girlfriend, who he accidentally had the tip of the young man sewed onto his Mr. Thinger, and he was like, no, it's the ultimate. Now it's bigger, but it's darker. And then she cuts it off because he cheated on her, so she cuts it off again, and so they grab it and they then reattach it to its rightful owner.
Mm-mm.
And that's the
Good.
movie. And I watched it with my friend and her children, which I don't think I've ever laughed so hard in my life.
Her children.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Well,
But I feel like the lesson in that was don't behave like that kid and you get to keep your wiener.
yeah, it's a good lesson.
I think it's a good one. I support that for parents.
Both Naomi and Will thinks that this sounds like fever dreams that you're having, not actual events that took place.
No, I'm not.
In a film.
No, you assholes. It's a real You can both sit and spin. Listen, it's a real movie. I even looked The Package. It's called
Yes,
The Package. It's on Netflix.
Naturally.
And it is with Daniel Doheny, Geraldine Viswanathan, who is a great young actress. I think she's going to be big.
How did they get Geraldine Viswanathan? I would think she would be book solid.
I think there's going to be someone.
Yeah, Viswanathan is just one of those names that rolls off your tongue. You know she's going to make it in Hollywood.
You are going to eat your words when she becomes
Just like Emily Ratajkowski or whatever her name is.
Radikowski.
Yes, Ratatata. Ratatouille.
Oh my God.
So
Ratatouille.
do you want to know what I've been watching this week? I'd love to tell you.
You haven't been watching The Package?
No, but I did watch the finale of The Circle. My girl/boy Trevor won, and I'm very happy to see that. Courtney was terrible. I'm glad he lost. Also, I've watched Nomadland, the Oscar-winning Best Picture.
Oh my God, was it awful?
It was trash.
Oh.
It was so bad.
Well, it was just as bad as the Oscars this year.
Minari was so much better and should have won. Yeah,
I didn't see that either.
There actually weren't very many great movies this year, to be honest with you.
When the best thing about the Oscars is that Glenn Close does debut, I feel like we've got problems.
Yeah.
No bueno.
I think we probably should have skipped the Oscars this year and just been like, you know what, next year we'll come back and we'll do
I just don't know why they didn't use more of like Union Station. That could be really cool. Why weren't there any performances either? Like performances could have been done in Union Station.
Also listening to a new podcast. Do you want to hear about it?
Yeah.
I'm listening to a podcast called Out for Blood, the story of Carrie the Musical. And it's a 9-part podcast about the creation of one of the most famous Broadway flops in history. And it's really fascinating. And the show ran for 16 previews and 5 performances, and it lost $10 million. And it is really, really fantastic. So if you like theater lore and disasters, I highly recommend listening to that. Also, the show is pretty good. It just didn't work at the time.
You know what I watched last night that's actually an incredible film, and I really feel like it was not given its kudos enough.
What's that?
In the day. I watched Hook last night. It was amazing.
Hook is pretty good.
Rufy. You know you just did it at home, you guys.
Yes. Hook is pretty great. Julia Roberts, as far as I understand, was very difficult to work with on that movie.
I would be too, because they made her look like a freak.
Yeah.
When you can make Julia Roberts,
and I've been on record as not a huge fan of Robin Williams, but Hook is like a more understated kind of calm role for him, and I really like it.
Bangarang, okay?
Bangarang. Yes. I also love What Dreams May Come with Robin Williams. That movie is so good.
Patch Adams was dark.
Awful. Somebody from Buffy's in Patch. Oh, Robia Scott's in Patch Adams. Jenny Calendar. Yeah, she's in Patch Adams.
Great.
So, you love Jenny Calendar. Hey, we're almost 10 minutes into the show. Should we talk about the Buffy and Angel episodes of the week?
Yes, we should.
I'll let you choose again. Are we going to talk about the Angel episode first or the Buffy episode first?
Let's talk about, I don't know. Let's go Buffy first.
Okay, we'll do Buffy first. Checkpoint. The Watchers Council arrives in Sunnydale.
I watched the wrong one. Just kidding. I thought that would have been just so funny. Just really, because I almost did, by the way, but I didn't.
Which one did you almost watch? The next one?
No, the one before. And I was like...
you already watched?
Yeah, I was like, why do I know this one? I was like,
Anyway.
fuck, it's the other one.
The Watchers Council arrives in Sunnydale demanding Buffy pass an exhaustive review of her slaying skills, or they will withhold critical information about Glory and have Giles deported back to England. So we haven't seen the Watchers Council since they took Faith after the body switch, since they unsuccessfully tried to imprison Faith.
I don't like them, any of them at all.
No,
they're
but
all dicks.
I will say that why am I blanking on his name? I want to say Holland Manners, but I think Holland Manners is the guy that ran Wolfram and Hart and Angel. The main guy that runs the Watchers Council, who I love, and now I'm the actor's name is Harris Yulin is his name.
Yeah.
And that character, whose name I've now entirely forgotten, and I'm embarrassed, but that character is Quentin Travers. Quentin Travers, Holland Manners.
Travers, yes.
Yes. Yeah,
which,
so
was also meant something to me because I had a roommate in college who had a boyfriend named Quentin and couldn't fucking stand him either.
I had a crush on a boy named Quentin when I was in middle school. Name. It's a really stupid name. And then he ended up getting with my friend Nicole, and then we weren't friends anymore. Anyway.
No bueno.
So this episode, the gang is gathered at Buffy's house. They're talking about the council who's coming to Sunnydale. Buffy is not happy that they're coming to visit. And she's like, the last 2 times they were here, they tried to kill me twice.
She's like, make them go, Giles. Make them go.
Yeah, exactly. And all she wants is the information. She doesn't understand why they have to come there and test her and whatever.
She's like, I've been tested. We've passed this test. We're done here.
Yes. Glory is amazing in this episode, by the way.
I'm sorry. This whole scene I found to be so disgusting.
Which one? The one where her minions are there?
When her minions are there and like picking her up and like making her stick her electric fingers into the man's brain and sucking out his
energy.
Oh,
yeah,
and
it's
then
gross.
Like, hey, it was just awful, disgusting.
Yeah, but she's pretty funny anyway.
She is.
And her other minion tells her that she has even less time now to use the key, but she's not worried at all. And she's like, if Buffy is the only obstacle between me and the key, I got this.
True.
So the Watchers all arrive at the magic store, and they send home the customers.
Because they're like you have illegal shit here, or this is too powerful and strong if left in the hot sun for over 24 hours. Who is that bitch?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, these people are all intolerable, all of them. And they criticize Giles like handling of merchandise and like what do you call it? Like they do inventory in the store. Like they're just fucking awful. They're just awful. And they announce that they're going to close the magic box for the duration of their stay there. Giles is pissed off. And then he finds out that they're actually going to test Buffy's methods and skills and abilities. And Quentin Travers says that they have information on Glory, but they won't reveal it until Buffy has been comprehensively tested and proves she can handle the information.
What does that even...
It's stupid. It's stupid. So we're in Buffy's history class, and the teacher's talking about Rasputin and how he was like considered impossible to kill. And Buffy's like, why don't we look at this from a different angle? And the professor is a dick to her and embarrasses her in front of the class and is like, do you have anything else to say, Professor? Like, he's such a fucking asshole to her. Everybody's an asshole in this episode.
Well, I think like authority is an asshole. Yeah. Everyone in authority is just an asshole, which is how we feel most of the time.
Yeah.
As like when I was in college, I was like, oh, fuck the man.
Yeah. And so Buffy is out that night fighting a vampire, and she's complaining to the vampire about that class. And then she gets thrown off balance. Spike shows up and kills the vampire. And he's expecting her to be grateful, but she's like, you're getting in my way. Fuck off.
Spike.
And Spike is just rubbing the whole Riley situation in her face. Like, he's mean to her. But she's mean to him.
They're hate flirting is what they're doing.
Yeah.
I love a hate flirt. That's always the most fun.
So one of the demon minions of Glory shows up to the hospital and talks to Ben, and is saying that Glory has a message and she wants Ben's assistance in gathering information about the Slayer. and he starts talking, and he accidentally slips and tells the demon that the key is a human being, which is something that Glory did not know before. Bad news. So Ben beats the shit out of the demon. And then we go back. Quentin tells Buffy and Giles that they have to pass this review or else they're going to shut down the magic shop and deport Giles. People in the comments are talking about the funny bits where Anya has to pretend like she's been a human the whole time. She doesn't put on that she's an ex-demon.
Oh my God. She was like, no, they can't. No, they're going to, what are they going to do to you, Anya? Chill the fuck out, man. This is not
Christina
about
Emmanuel
you.
Jenkins, born on the 4th of July. I loved her. So Buffy
And I
and Giles
love
realize,
Dawn, like, lurking.
yeah, she's
Dawn.
great. She's like, I'm allowed to know things, I'm allowed to get a snack. As someone who has a brother that's 4 years younger than him, I hate Dawn in those scenes because that's exactly what my brother was like, just obnoxious on purpose. Yeah.
Did you ever like trip him down the stairs?
I did a lot. We'll talk about it in the Patreon.
Okay.
There were several times as a small child I tried to kill my brother, not knowing that I was trying to kill him. But anyway, so Buffy and Giles realized that
Just trying to test his mortality. That's what you were doing.
Yeah, honestly, I was doing the world a favor.
Wow.
Buffy and Giles realize that they have to cooperate with the council because they're strong enough and powerful enough to carry out all their threats. So they interviewed the Scooby Gang, including Spike, for information about the Slayer. The woman who interviews Spike is knows everything about him because she wrote a thesis on him, and Spike is just the most impressed person in the world that she knows who he is. Sorry, I'm adjusting because my leg fell asleep. And with the exception of Spike, who says that she's slipping because she can't keep a man, everybody is trying not to incriminate Buffy in any way, and then tries to justify that they're useful around her without making Buffy seem like she needs help.
True.
Yeah. And in the training room, Buffy's blindfolded, and she is set to fight this council member, but she doesn't speak Japanese because apparently she was supposed to learn Japanese words for attacking and stuff.
Why?
And so she fails that test because that's what Giles was supposed to teach her. That's in the Watcher's manual.
But he got fired as her watcher, and then Wesley, then she died, and then she came back to life. So isn't there like a loophole here?
Right. I don't know. Who cares? But Buffy goes home, and Glory is in her living room. And this is
like what happened in Sabrina the Teenage Witch when they were like, we have run out of storylines. We're just gonna make it so that every person in this family has a twin, and you have to figure this out. And then the Watchers Council comes in and tests you for it, and you got to get a witch driver's license. Like this whole thing is these stories are so contrived and so ridiculous sometimes. Why? What is the point of this?
Well, what did you think about Buffy fighting Glory in her living room? And Glory threatening to kill Dawn and Joyce.
I mean, it was emotional.
Yeah. And then of all the people she could take Dawn and Joyce to go hide with, she takes them to Spike. And Spike is really hilarious. Their dynamic, honestly, between the three of them is really great. I love the three of them in that crypt, and I love that he watches Passions.
I love anything with Spike and Joyce together.
Yeah.
They have such a camaraderie from like seasons past. Like they are buddies. She's like, hey, nice to see you again.
Well, you remember in the end of season 2 when he shows up at the house and she's like, I know you from somewhere, right? He's like, oh yeah, at the school you hit me with a fire hydrant and said, get away from my daughter.
Yeah, and she was like, right.
How are you? Yeah, Joyce and Spike have, I think, like even a better connection than Buffy and Spike or Buffy and Joyce and Dawn and Joyce have. I love Joyce and Spike. I can watch them too. I would watch this.
That is a sitcom.
Yes, exactly. So they go and hide them, and poor Dawn has to watch Passions with these two people that are obsessed with Passions. So Buffy's heading to the shop, and a bunch of dudes in medieval chainmail show up and start fighting Buffy. And she takes them out, and there's one last conscious guy, and she finds out that they're in town to destroy the key. and she's the enemy because she protects the key. And then she lets them live. Buffy goes back to the shop and she says, you know what? I'm not dealing with this review shit anymore. I have the power against both Glory and the council because you both need something from me. Because Glory needs to know where the key is and the council needs her to make their jobs meaningful. And she gives a really good speech, I thought. I like the speech that she gives the council where she's like, here's what's going to happen. Giles is back. He gets full pay, paid retroactively. You guys leave and you tell me everything I need to know before you leave. And then if you learn more things, you tell me those things later.
Yes.
But like, you don't have control over this anymore. This isn't about you. And
Boom.
that's it. I mean, that speech is great. And then Quentin agrees to the terms. Buffy says, like, what kind of demon is Glory? And Quentin says, Glory's not a demon. She's a god.
What the hell does that mean?
She's a god. She has way, 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 way more power and influence than a demon does. Real quick, Will and Amy are both screaming the praises of Joyce as well, which is great. Will says Joyce is the underrated MVP of the show. Her relationships are amazing. Her and Spike, her and Giles. Joyce puts up a lot with a grain of salt and just lives her best life. I agree. I love Joyce. She's a great character.
I do too.
Yeah. Okay. Before we get to our final thoughts and letter ratings, the karate instructions that Buffy is given in Japanese are shomen ni rei, which means bow to the front, shomen zuki, which means front punch, and ushiro geri empi uchi, which means back kick, elbow strike. Doesn't mean anything. Just thought I'd share it.
Uchi.
And that's pretty much what I got. Let's talk about foreign language titles. The French title is L'Inspection, or The Inspection. The Czech title is Bod Obratu, or Turning Point, which I think is a better title than Checkpoint. The Hungarian title is Feluton, or Halfway. And lastly, the Spanish title is La Revisión, or The Review. So, Jewel,
I don't
final
think
thoughts.
any of those are particularly great. I love my Spike and Joyce scenes. I feel like already just elevates this to some kind of.
And you like Glory.
Go up from there, and I really like Glory. And even though there's a couple scenes where I was like, "That's disgusting," or "Why? I don't understand the story." And what is a god? There, And when do we find out? Like, when do they all find out about Dawn? And why are we all just accepting that Dawn is now a thing? I'm still, I guess there's still things I'm fighting in this episode, but I'm going to give it a B+. I thought this was a great episode.
Yeah,
the whole time.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, this episode doesn't really go anywhere, but it's all kind of worth it for, like we said, the Glory stuff, the Spike and Joyce stuff, and obviously
you can forgive a lot for Joyce and Spike together.
Yeah, I agree. Completely. I love their dynamic. So I am actually going to give this one a B. It's good.
Ooh.
It's good. Yeah, it's good.
I definitely thought B+. I don't know. I guess I just love Spike. I love funny Spike.
Yeah. Okay, so before we get talking about our Angel episode, let's talk a bit about our Patreon. Jewel, what can people get when they sign up for our Patreon?
What can't they get when they sign up for our Patreon? That's a better question. I mean, you get unfettered access to myself and Brandon.
Yes.
We put recipes. Actually, I've been pretty lax about it this week. I'm sorry, guys. I will double it this week. We do put recipes and fun shit, and
we check in with you. You get exclusive content, extended interviews. You get to be in our private Facebook group where we post all kinds of shit. You can ask us questions at any time when we have guest interviews. You can come on and ask questions of our guests. It's only $5 a month. You won't even miss that $5.
Brandon streams live from strip clubs sometimes.
I stream live from gay strip clubs in Mexico. What's not to like?
Ooh, arriba.
So, Jewel, why don't we talk about our Angel episode?
Si, senor, yo conozco.
This week's Angel episode is Blood Money. So this episode, we still have the split between the rest of Angel Investigations and Angel himself.
He's off doing his own angel-y shit.
Yeah. And they're doing their own thing. And they're all playing. The episode opens. They're at Cordy's apartment. They're playing Risk. Cordy kicks them out so she can go to sleep. and they are discussing these plans to open their company without Angel. And Cordy gets a vision about a large demon thing that farts fire. Demon farts fire. Angel bumps into a woman who runs a teen center. Does this woman look familiar to you, by the way?
No, you know why? Because I had just learned about farting fire at that point.
Yeah. So the woman that runs this homeless center for kids is Anne. Before, she was known by a couple other names, including Lily and Sister Sunshine.
Anne!
She's the one when Buffy goes to LA.
Buffy Ann Summers. Anne!
She's like, you can have my name to start over. So this is Anne. This is that same character. I don't know. I don't remember if that's
sleeping with this actress.
Yeah, I don't know if it's addressed in this episode that it's the same character, but it definitely is.
Well, I guess I'm sorry I said that. That's a terrible thing to say and absolutely not women supportive. I bet she's an excellent actress. I don't understand why they keep repeating her and they won't use her as like a regular character.
Well, she's in this quite a bit after this. Like she's
so she's made it to a regular character. Well,
not a regular, but she's recurring. Yeah.
Hey, recurring. That's better. That's better than a day player.
Exactly. So
a one scene wonder, a monster.
So the encounter seems to be innocent enough, but then it's revealed that Angel engineered the encounter so he could take her wallet, and it has and he has a dozen pictures of her, including shots of her with Lindsay. So he realizes that she's working with Wolfram and Hart. Wesley and Gunn approach the demon. I
still don't understand who Wolfram and Hart are because now they're all dead, except they're not dead, except now Lindsay and
there's a whole lot more people from Wolfram and Hart. It's not just the ones that were in that room. First of all, Wolfram and Hart has branches all over the world. And including in season 5, they actually go to the Italian branch. It's quite funny. The Wolfram and Hart's a way bigger organization, and lawyers are very replaceable, as is made clear in this episode, like abundantly clear.
They just filled them all back in.
Yeah. So Angel finds Merle, who's sort of his informer, the lizard demon guy, and is demanding information about Anne. She's connected to Wolfram and Hart, so Angel goes to the shelter and talks to her. And Anne is like, Wolfram and Hart pays for everything. They've helped us with this. They're putting this fundraiser on. It's going to get donations. They're going to have celebrities go around and steal money from people, which, you ever heard of a party like that ever?
The fuck is that? No, I was listening to her and I was like, this does not sound like a consensual game.
No, no. So this demon shows up named Boone, and Boone confronts Merle for information on Angel. Boone is huge and angry, and he
Merle
hates Angel.
And Boone.
Merle and Boone.
These people.
And Merle gives him the information on where Angel's gone. Angel surprises Lila by being in her car like a fucking creep. He says he's happy to be able to play the game now that he understands that there aren't any rules. Lila
That's
tells
my
Lindsay,
worst nightmare, though, is like someone popping up in my backseat. I double check.
In the shower.
Stop it. Every time. Panic.
Yep. So Lila tells Lindsay she's worried about Angel, but then Boone shows up unannounced, wanting to help Wolfram and Hart to deal with their grudge against Angel. Boone explains his past and the fact that they have a battle to finish. Wesley and Gunn are super happy that they killed the fire-farting demon, and they are leaving to look for...
and you know what the world is, too, because the fuck, man.
Yes. And they're leaving to look for their for a new location for their office. So that is happening. Lila and one of her thugs go to Merle for information. Angel shows back up at the shelter, and he says that he's bringing some clothing donations, but they're clothes that Cordelia left at the office, which is not cool.
Rude.
Anne asks if he's stalking her. Angel gives all the evidence necessary to confirm that he is, and then he tries to warn her that Wolfram and Hart is going to steal money from the fundraiser. He's like, they're going to keep 95%. You're going to walk away with 5%. She's like, you know what? 5% is 5%. She's like, that's more money than we had before. And
it's true.
And Lindsay shows up with Boone, and Boone fights Angel. Lindsay tries to defend the law firm to Anne, but he's worried because she knows this information. And he's discussing the possibilities of this with Lila. Angel is wounded from his fight. He goes to the shelter, and Anne tells Angel that she's worked out that he's a vampire. But,
Angel is forever wounded.
But that doesn't really faze her because she says that she thought vampires were cool until she met one. So it's kind of addressed that she was the one in the vampire cult in season 2 of Buffy.
It shows
She
the
says
growth
that she's
of a
seen terrible.
growth of a character, but like a character that
Exactly.
didn't really matter, but she does.
Exactly. Which, this show is pretty good about doing that. I mean, Jonathan is a character that didn't matter until he did. Like, there's a lot of harmony. Like these are characters that they don't come up with new characters so often as they're really good at pulling old characters out that worked.
You're right. I like that. You're right.
Yeah.
I just wish she had been able to do more this
As
season.
I understand, Gilmore Girls is good at doing that too.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love Gilmore Girls.
I know. She says she's seen terrible things happening to kids on the streets of LA, and she will ignore anything if it means that there's any aid to the shelter. And like I said, she's like, yeah, 5% is great. And Angel's like, what about the other 95%? Like, that money is going to be used for bullshit, and that money is going to be used to hurt people and whatever. And she doesn't really care, Yes. So he asks her to get him inside the fundraiser and says that he has a videotape with footage that'll expose Wolfram and Hart. And tells her that it's the right thing to do. And she says, all I care about is helping these kids, and she refuses to let him into the thing. So we're at the ball, and there's a video of Holland Manners, who's dead now, talking about the shelter. Lila introduces Anne to one of her superiors, Nathan, while Lindsay reviews the security plans for the ball. And they have the actors out there taking money from people, which is not a thing. Angel shows up, and there's a fight between him and Boone on the balcony. And then they fall to the main floor. Lindsay is looking for the tape, but it turns out that Angel doesn't have the tape and that Boone is actually working with him. So this was like a big setup so that Angel, I don't know why.
They want to catch Angel or hurt Angel or make him lose.
Yeah, but Boone was working with Angel, not with Wolfram and Hart. He was pretending to work with Wolfram and Hart.
Well, because demons got to stick together?
Yeah.
Sure. I got to tell you, I don't get this fucking show, man.
Lindsay and Lila are on the other side of the room, but it's actually Anne who's the one that puts the tape in the player. And they run to they run to go stop her, which is all caught on film, but they fail and the tape plays, but it's Cordy and Wesley acting goofy on camera. It's clear that Angel had nothing in the first place. He just wanted to embarrass them, which is a plan that worked because they freaked out trying to stop him. And Boone took off with all the donations that were brought up that night. Anne confronts Angel and says, like, you had no intention of exposing this shit. And he's like, they would have only covered it up, so it doesn't matter. We'll just make them look bad. We'll slightly embarrass them, which is now Angel's game plan, is just to, just petty shit, really.
Gently embarrass them randomly?
Yeah. And Anne reminds him that all the charity money is lost, and Angel says, I don't care. The money's tainted. Doesn't matter. Angel's kind of a dick, yeah.
Angel is a dick. Because money doesn't matter to him because what's he gonna do?
Right. Lindsay and Lila are brought in front of Nathan because they lost the money. They embarrassed the firm. They hired an assassin to kill Angel, who was actually working with Angel. And he warns them that they need to start having some victories pretty quick. Lindsay wants to know why he can't just be allowed to kill Angel since he's so much trouble. And Nathan says Angel is prophesized to have a huge role in the coming apocalypse. And he says, we don't know what side he's going to be fighting on. You guys Lila and Lindsay are completely replaceable. Angel is not, which is really interesting because it means that they're really not going to try to kill him at all.
So what are they doing with him? Just fucking with him until he busts?
They want him to turn evil. They want him to turn back evil, which is why they brought Darla back and did all that shit.
Well, he's not going to do it because Buffy broke it.
Right. And his obsession with Lindsay and Lila, it will hopefully contribute to that. Angel dumps his files on Anne, and he finds Boone waiting for him in the lobby of the hotel, and he's not surprised that he came back. Boone throws the bag on the ground, and he says that there's $2.5 million worth of shit in that bag between cash and jewelry. And he clearly wants a fight between him and Angel to settle the score, I guess. And
so he wins all the money fair and square. Is that what this is?
Yeah, and they launch at each other, and then the next scene you see Angel all beat up, but he has the money and the jewelry, and he drops it off to Anne and says that she's going to have to hide it from Wolfram and Hart. And she accepts it, even though there's actually blood on it, literally blood on it. And she says it'll wash out.
There you go, blood money, still good money, girl.
It's the name of the episode. The German title is Schmutzgeld, or Dirty Money. And the French title is Argent Sale, or Dirty Money. I don't have any trivia for this one. Jewel, final thoughts and letter rating on this episode, Blood Money of Angel.
I know I gave it a lot of shit. I mean, it still wasn't good by any stretch of the imagination, but I'll give it a B-.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's not a good episode. It's not a bad episode. It happened. It's not offensive. It's not terrible. The fire farting demon's a bit stupid.
Stupid.
But I kind of like the double crossing, even though it didn't really make any sense why anyone was doing what they were doing. But I still liked it as like, if it were an episode of a show that I don't watch, I'd be like, oh, that was cute or whatever. It kind of feels like as convoluted as like a Bad Law and Order episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is to say, pretty good. A Bad Law and Order episode is still a Law and Order episode, so there's nothing to hate.
It's true, especially these new ones with Elliot Stabler being back.
I haven't watched them yet, but I will.
Love it.
So Jewel, what was your letter grade on that one?
B-.
B-. Yeah, I'll go B- as well. It's fine. I never need to see it again. I'm good. Nope. But it is the start of this, like, we know a little bit more about these prophecies as well, which is really exciting. So, before we go, we don't really have any Buffy or Angel birthdays this week, weirdly enough. Saturday is Caroline DeVernis's birthday. She plays Jay in Wonder Falls, and we have a sister podcast. It's a Wonder Falls podcast. So, happy birthday, Caroline. And we will be back next Sunday with the episode Blood Ties of Buffy. This is where we learn a little bit more about Dawn and the key situation. And where
Thank God, because I'm still so confused about who or what she is and why are we pretending it's like normal.
And Dawn learns that she's the key in this episode as well.
Ooh!
And
Does
the
she have a
Angel episode,
meltdown? I feel like she might.
Does. And the Angel episode, Happy Anniversary, which I don't remember anything about it. So that's what I got. It was a short episode today, guys, but I think we got through everything. It
was Mother's Day, y'all. We're tired. Everyone's done breakfast.
Everyone's exhausted. I'm hungover.
We're trying to fit this in between parties at Brandon's Puerto Vallarta Oasis.
Exactly. Jules a little bit stoned. Brandon's a little bit stoned. We're here. We're queer. Get used to it. We love you guys. Good night.
I'm not Mom. No. I am a friend. Am I? I mean, would you?
No, you're not queer. I mean, unless you want to be, I don't care. You are whatever you say you are.
I don't know. Maybe today I will be. I don't know.
Amy is politely telling us to get out, get out, get out, which is a line from the next episode, actually. So, goodbye, guys. Grr.